What causes orogenesis? Orogenesis occurs when a continental plate is crumpled and is pushed upwards to form mountain ranges. Here are the 10 orogenic belts: the European Alps, the Carpathians, the Pyrenees, the Apennines, the Dinarides, the Caucasus, the Zagros, the Himalayas, the Indonesian archipelago, and the Southern Alps of New Zealand. What causes orogenic collapses? What causes them is when mountains begin to collapse under their own weight, and eventually spread laterally like soft cheese in the summer sun. Here's an example of orogenesis from Divergent with examples of fault block mountains. And here's an example of orogenesis from Convergent with examples of folds and thrust belts. Strike is the angle between an imaginary horizontal line, also known as the strike line, on the structure and a direction of true north. Dip is the angle of the structure's slope, more precisely, the angle between a horizontal plane and the dip line, an imaginary line parallel to the steepest slope on the structure as measured in a vertical plane perpendicular to the strike. Continental crust consists of rocks that are less dense than those making up a stenosphere. Because it is less dense than a stenosphere, continental crust is like a buoy that holds up the continental lithosphere. Thus, the surface of the Earth rises until there is a balance between the buoyancy force that pushes the lithosphere up and the gravitational force that pulls the lithosphere down. Here you can see dome, a folded or arced layers with the shape of an outturned bowl. You can also see a basin, a fold or depression shaped like a right side up bowl. A plunging hold, a fold with a tilted hinge, as you can see through the pictures below. Monocline, a fold in the land surface whose shape resembles that of a carpet draped over a stair step. Anticline, folds that have an arc-like shape in which the limbs dip away from the hinge. Syncline, folds with a true-like shape in which the limbs dip toward the hinge. Here are images that resemble reverse, thrust, normal, and left lateral strike slip faults. The relationship between faulting and folding. Faults are when rocks break and sliding occurs. Folds are when there's a bend or a curve in a rock layer. This happens instead of faulting.